A very, very good afternoon to all the parents attending today's session. Knowledge is about making connections and connections that fuel creativity. Providing students experiences beyond the walls of the classroom is vital as they look at their first-hand experiences from different perspectives. Such experiences enhance skills such as detailing, analysis, inquiry, and problem solving in everyday situations. IDP is a subject enrichment project that we initiate from grade 1 to cater to all the mentioned aims and objectives. It is an approach that is integrated. It adopts approaches and subject matter from various disciplines and invents ways to illustrate a given topic of a particular discipline. During these interdisciplinary projects, students relate their learning experiences to the bigger picture. The lesson content is integrated with different subject areas. We aim through the IDP to help them to promote divergent and parallel thinking and develop multiple perspectives and flexible thinking. We at DPS Monarch always welcome open communication and try to reach out to our parents for a better school life experience. Today's orientation is one such example. I welcome all the parent community from grade 1 and 2 for joining us for today's orientation program. And without taking much time, I, Jyoti Gupta, the headmistress of kindergarten and primary, would like to invite our resource person, our very own school principal, Mrs. Meenal Bakshi, an experienced educationist and a teacher trainer. Ma'am is an expert in IDP and will make us understand the rationale and techniques to handle IDP to make it more enjoyable experience for all. Thank you, ma'am, for taking out your time from the hectic schedule and be the resource person for today's session. Parents, we will also have a question answer round towards the end of the session. Meanwhile, if you have any queries, please feel free to drop your queries through the chat box and we'll cater to it towards the end. Over to you, ma'am, and thank you once again.
Thank you, Ms. Jyoti Gupta, and a very good afternoon to all the children and parents, those who are with us in today's session. As Ms. Jyoti Gupta has already mentioned, what is the relevance of initiating interdisciplinary project as a compulsory component of our curriculum. So, as we have received a lot of concerns from many parents from grade 1 and 2, because we know these are the foundation years for your children. And especially for grade 1 parents, when children are shifted from KG2 to grade 1, it's a transition period for them. Suddenly they were at this level and they go to this level. So it's quite natural for parents to have that kind of anxiety and they feel worried about studies. And usually it is observed that during first term of grade 1, children's performance usually goes down. It's not because they are not good in study. It's not because the school is not putting effort. It's because suddenly they have to start certain things which are totally new to them. And it takes time for children to connect and to adapt to the primary years program. So that's why grade 1 year is a very crucial time for parents, teachers, as well as the students. Now, coming back to the topic for which we are here today, IDP, which stands for Interdisciplinary Project. So today, in today's, I won't be using any jargon to make it more complicated. Rather, in a very simple language, I would like to make one of you understand what is the objective of offering IDP as a part of our curriculum, and what your children are going to learn, what kind of skills they are going to develop when they do IDP, and how you can help your parents, help your children to do IDP in a better manner by supporting and guiding them. So what is the exact role of parent and what is the exact learning outcome of the IDP? So we'll be focusing on these things. So, right. So before I talk about interdisciplinary project, I would just like to talk about project-based learning, because IDP is a part of project-based learning. I'm sure that a lot of you must have heard this term before. because during our school days also our teachers used to give a lot of project work to do. And in those days, most of the projects used to be like in art and craft work, and there used to be some projects where we just have to work in mathematics or English or a particular language. But IDP is little different from a normal project work. It is, as Ms. Jyoti Gupta has already mentioned, it's a subject enrichment activity. And as a part of our subject enrichment activity, we offer this as a compulsory component in our curriculum. So in IDP, basically, it's a project-based learning, but we make children learn through an interdisciplinary approach. So you need to know what is an interdisciplinary approach and how do we integrate it. So before that, I would like to drag your attention to this picture. If you look at this particular picture, it says remembering, understanding, applying, analyzing, evaluating, and creating. So now it's a first stage for grade 1 and grade 2 children to understand the concept, where they can recall the facts and they understand the basic concept of any subject. Then slowly and gradually, they start explaining their own ideas. Then they use their own ideas, and then they want to see how their ideas are applicable in a new situation, because they are explorers. They would like to definitely explore out things. Through that, whatever they learn in school, they try to apply in their real life situation. Then we come to a level where children need to put the pieces of information together, try to connect a relationship. So I was talking about analysis part, where children have to bring the pieces of information together, try to see the connection and the relationship. And then once they learn how to connect different subjects together, then they justify a stand or a position based on their own evaluation. And then they are at the stage where they can produce something new or something based on their creativity. Why I'm explaining you these terms? Because when you will see your child doing interdisciplinary project, you will come across with all these things, where there would be some part of IDP which would be purely based on knowledge, where your child needs to remember some facts and try to understand basic concept. And some part of the IDP would be based on where the child have to apply a particular concept in the real world. Let's say a very simple example, the child is learning addition in grade 2. So if you take your child to a supermarket and you say this is 20 riyals and now he has bought something for 5 riyals, something for 7 riyals, something for 2 riyals. So now in the real life situation, when child knows how to add, the child would be able to easily add. So this way you will see different part of IDPs will have a different things, different levels where children will have to work on. Sometimes they might have to work on their creative side to create something new or of their choice. Sometimes there would be some part of IDP where they have to justify their choice. Suppose if I am saying this is my opinion about something, why? I need to know how to justify my opinion. So these are the things which are very important part of any IDP, any interdisciplinary project. So now we come to IDP. As I've said, it's an integrated learning approach where we give one project and we have involved several disciplines, let's say several subjects. Children have to collaborate on projects that connect several subjects areas to enhance learning. Suppose they are learning a particular concept in EVS. How do they connect mathematics? How do they connect language? How do they connect other subjects like art, music, dance with that mathematical subject? It's called interdisciplinary approach. And then once they know how to connect, then they can connect that knowledge from various areas of learning and apply into their real life situation. Like when we say why mathematics, physics, chemistry, all three becomes important subjects when somebody wants to become an engineer. Why a doctor has to learn chemistry, though they have to talk about bio. There are several combination of subjects we need to study as we go to higher classes, because there's a relevance, there's an integration of those subjects. So from the very beginning level, let's say grade 1, we want children to explore these options we want them to have high order thinking, that how to connect subjects through one project, what they are learning in EVS, what is the significance of that topic in maths, English, art, dance, music. This is the basic learning outcome of interdisciplinary project. Next is, I would like to tell you, with the implementation of new education policy, now CBSE has also issued some guidelines for interdisciplinary project. So if we see here, it is called Art Integrated Project for grade 1 to grade 10, where we have to again integrate more than one subject and come up with a project where we can promote reflection, critical thinking, children's creativity, how to take initiative, and it should be self-directed project. So here there is a very important role of parents. What kind of involvement parent would have when children get certain projects like this? So I just want you to see the circular for your better understanding. See, the classes 1 to 8 art integrated projects should be of transdisciplinary nature. The project 1 work can include more than one subject, and this can be considered for internal assessment in the subject concerned. So this is what exactly we are doing when we give any IDP, interdisciplinary project work to student. It's not the only way to evaluate your child's performance. As it's clearly mentioned, it's a part of internal assessment. So it's one way of assessing your child, and in one academic year, we give 2 projects to children, first term and second term. And why do we choose summer vacation and winter vacation time for children to do this project work? Because that is the time they are not having regular classes. They have more time to think about new creative ideas, and they can work on their own pace. We do not want to give them 1 week time, let's say 10 days time, and they have to come up with certain projects. So that's the idea behind it. And in minimum 1 project work child has to do, where we can involve other subjects. And if you see this, for teachers, what are the instructions? Based on that, they create interdisciplinary project, selection of a topic, and then providing inquiry opportunities, ideas where we can integrate hands-on learning. Then we have to have an assessment also. Like we decided a theme, we have learning objectives. Now, how do we come to know children are able to learn? So assessment is also a very important part of IDP. That is why you can see in your child's project work, there are a lot of tasks in every subject children are supposed to do, because that is the way of assessment for a teacher to know whether the child has understood or not. Then again, the 4th step is reflecting on those things. What new you have learned while doing this IDP, because it is not a regular class interaction where teacher is teaching a particular topic and telling you just do this task, that's it. If you see, it has a wide range of activities in art, in ICT, in maths, in English. They are doing different activity, but the theme is same. So this was just to share with you that it's a compulsory component from CBSE. Maybe you do not find that many schools are doing, but at DPS Monarch, from the very first day, we have made project work as a curriculum, and we want to make sure when children go to higher classes and when they are in grade 10, there are certain expectations from board for them to do well. So from the beginning, from the primary years, they are prepared. Otherwise, suddenly when they are in middle years or secondary years, they find it difficult to cope up. So that's the rationale behind it. Why I'm telling you these things, many parents have shared their concern, like other schools are not offering this kind of project work. So I'm not sure about other schools and institutions what they are doing, but then we are exactly following whatever CBSE is guiding and recommending schools to do. Now, how do we implement IDP in primary years at our school? I would just talk about that. So in grade 1, this term, the project which was given, the theme was let's splash into seasons. I have taken the same project work for your better understanding, so that you know what your child is supposed to do and what would be your involvement. So let's see what is the project. I know many parents must have seen, because you have helped your children doing this project work. So the circular was gone on 6th June, and the learning outcomes are already mentioned in the letter, that what your children would be able to learn through this IDP work. And then guidelines were also shared with parents. And before sharing these guidelines with parents, the teachers had a particular session with children to explain them that what they are supposed to do. But then we know now, due to pandemic, children were not coming to school that time, and parent involvement was too high. So I can understand your difficulty, that if your child has to do 10 tasks in one project, you definitely have to help your child in support. But here I want to suggest parents, let your child do the work. You can just guide them. If I'll tell you with example, now look at this project. The title of the project is Let's Splash into Season. The idea of this project is to talk about season, what are the different climatic conditions in different seasons, and what are the things which are connected with seasons, like food, clothes, our mood, festivals. There are a lot of things connected to seasons. So when we just talk about seasons in EVS, and we do not want children to understand what are the other things which are connected to seasons, then their knowledge is limited. So that's why if you see the subjects which are integrated, English, EVS, math, French, Hindi, second language I mean, and then ICT and art. And if you look at the assignment and activity in English, children were supposed to read the e-book. And after reading that e-book, they're supposed to do certain worksheets based on their reading. Now, I'll tell you a very, very simple example. When children go for competitive exam, there's an exam called IELTS exam, where reading is a very, very important component of that particular test. And exactly, it is based on the same concept what teacher has given here. You have to read, and then you have to answer certain question. So right from the grade 1, if we try children how to read and then answer the question based on their understanding, you imagine by the time your child would be in grade 12 or would be going for competitive exam, these things will not be new for your child. He or she will not be alien to certain concepts. Rather, they would be more confident to accept those challenges and go through those exams. Here, what we expect from parents, you help your child in reading. And if you feel your child is not able to read properly, because of course they are just 6 years old and they have just started reading, I would suggest you read for your child. Then whatever questions they are supposed to do, you may just ask 2-3 questions verbally and let them come up with their own answers. So that is the involvement of parent. I do not want any parent to frame the answers for children and you write in the rough notebook and tell your child to copy. Then again, it's not your child's work, it becomes your work. And I understand, as a working parent, even if you're not working, you have to spend a lot of time with your child to do the work which he or she is supposed to do. Then again, in this subject, children were supposed to make a Pictionary of the words related to all the seasons in the scrapbook. And the example is given, like umbrella, it is used in rainy season. So this is, children learn through pictorial way of learning. This is again, it's a way of learning that children can connect with pictures. So these are the very simple things which grade 1 children can do it very easily. But now when it comes to cutting the picture of umbrella and pasting on this scrapbook, it's okay if your child is not able to cut in a proper manner, because we are not going to evaluate your child based on how did your child cut umbrella. We want to see, as long as the picture of umbrella is pasted there and child has written correct word for that, it's more than enough. Because we are not testing the gross motor skills of your children here. We are going to evaluate whether child is able to understand the concept or not. But here some parents make a mistake because maybe they have anxiety, my child will lose the marks. So please understand this particular component has a very low weightage in your overall grade of your child. And we do not mention the marks of IDP specifically in report card. So you just understand it's just one component, that's it. So even if your child is cutting and it's not looking good, it doesn't matter. Same way in EVS, children were supposed to talk to their family members, both maternal and paternal side. They were supposed to talk to them about their favorite seasons, what they like and dislike about that season, and then they have to keep the record of their findings in a form of table, and then write and paste pictures of seasonal fruits, vegetable according to the season in the scrapbook. So if you see, it's a very much age appropriate activity. So if they are going to their family members, extended family members, now you see the kind of communication skills children would develop. If you do not have any relatives, if your child goes to neighborhood and asks 2 or 3 uncles and aunts and elder brothers and sisters and talk about season, that's the real learning. We do not want children to just memorize answers and write an exam and get full marks. That's not called real learning. Real learning is your child is learning about seasons in the class, and he or she is able to talk about to people what is season, what are the different kind of food we eat in a particular season, what kind of clothes we wear, what is right, what is wrong to do in that season. So we want children to have that kind of exposure. So all these things are taught in the class to children, and then they are supposed to do these activities. Same thing in math. If you see the kind of task they have got, they have to find the number of again they have to talk to their parents. So suppose they went to talk to their grandparents or relatives or friends or in neighborhood. They know in EVS maths similar kind of information is required, and then children are supposed to fill this table, season and number of people selected. So suppose I met 15 people, and out of 15 people 6 like winter season, so I will just write 6. So this is how, because they have just learned numbers in KG2 and they've just come to grade 1. Even if they do this activity by on their own, it would be a great achievement. It's just a beginning. So we are trying to develop their school. These are their learning years. We are not expecting them to become perfect and do some high order thinking additional problems. No, that level will also come, and your child would definitely reach to that level over years of time. Then again in ICT, they were supposed to draw a desktop, laptop or tablet, anything, whatever gadget they use at home. And then they have to stick the pictures of the favorite seasons. Some children must have created a season where, it's a monsoon, winter. Let them come up with their own creativity. And in art, they were supposed to make 4-season tree craft in 3D effect. So teachers have taught what is 3D effect. But still, if you feel your child doesn't know, you can help them to make them understand what is 3D and how can you make this picture looks like 3D, but don't draw for them. That's not the right way of supporting the child. Let them draw whatever they draw, because we are not evaluating if the picture is not looking like 3D. As long as child has put in efforts, we want to appreciate their effort. And teachers, it's not grade 10 board examination evaluation where we are just cutting 0.5 marks, 1 marks, because the tree doesn't look like a 3D model. No, we just want children to explore and showcase their creativity. That's it. In second language also, if you go through these tasks, these are very easy things which children can do on their own. And now let's talk about the duration of the project. 21st June, the guidelines were shared with parents. Teachers did talk about IDP during their classes with children. And then from 27th June to 1st September, so July, August, and let's say the children got 9 weeks time to do this. So I would say, apart from that, there was no other worksheet, no other homework was given to any child. So now if children do not study this much also during holidays, which is not actually study, it's a project work where they have to find out the facts and figures and do some tasks, that's it. then they will lose the connection. By the time after 2 months they will come back to school, they would be totally blank. And again, this idea is not too good to compare our institution with other schools, but I have seen children doing 10 worksheets in maths, 5 worksheets in English, in EVS. So every day the mothers are sitting with them, framing answers for them, and children are just copying and mugging up. We don't believe in giving that kind of homework. It's not useful and it has no learning outcome. So I went through this entire project book so that you develop a better understanding. Now, what I want to show you here is how did children do, and this is the work done by your children. We have just taken the work which is done by. So this was the English task, read an ebook, and this is the book. If you see, when children will have to read these 2 pages, you can just help your child reading, or you can read for them. And it's quite pictorial, children can understand. And not in one go, they can read 2 to 3 times just to have an understanding. They can underline the vocabulary which is new for them. And like a storytelling, we can always spend 30 minutes with our child to go through these 2 pages would be more than enough. But then again, we have to plan our day in such a manner that we find out those 30 minutes for our children which are useful and constructive. And then this is a worksheet which was given in the math, only one worksheet, it's English worksheet based on the book reading. Like if your child has read those 2 pages along with you, the book, child can definitely answer these questions. Even if they're making any spelling mistake here, sentence construction is not right, we're not going to deduct marks for that, because the idea is not to see their sentence construction. They will not be perfect in sentence constructing at the age of 6 when they've just started grade 1. Idea is just to let them explore, let them get into the habit of doing this work. And we are not going to look at the writing. If the writing is very bad, so teacher would deduct the marks. But again, at the same time, when children are writing, we have to make them understand. You start writing neat and clean and clear so that people can understand. But then again, some parents, what do? They will keep on erasing unless child has not written perfectly. That's not required actually. Then again, this is the worksheet, another worksheet. It's MCQ. Again, if you see in grade 10 now, the CBSE has changed the paper pattern. It's purely based on MCQs. Now your children are getting an opportunity to solve MCQ at the age of 6. By the time they will be in grade 10, they will have the mastery of cracking MCQs. So it's another skill which children need to know, because we feel MCQs are easy, but if you must have seen in a lot of engineering and competitive exams, the 90% weightage is given to written tests and where MCQs are coming. So again, we have to have such things part of our curriculum so that we make sure children have those skills. Writing is apart from writing skills. Then this is the work done by children in a math. Now you see snowman math, where the direction is given, correctly connect each snowman head and body to the proper bottom. You just need to explain what child is supposed to do, that's it. And this much addition they have learned, and that's why they got this task. Now, I mean, even if child is very average, a normal child won't take more than 20 to 30 minutes to do this worksheet. So even if you have got 10 tasks and 9 weeks, now you can have an idea that how much time to be devoted for IDP, right? And then again, another worksheet where they have to do coloring. Of course, the mathematical concept is there, but then again, as I told you, we have to make it as an art integrated project. So as much as we can make it, we try to make it so that art integration is there in each and every activity. When children paste, copy, cut, color, whatever they do. And this is their learning stage, and that's how they will learn, by doing such activities. Then EVS work, this was a work where they have to write and paste pictures of seasonal fruit, vegetables according to their season in the scrapbook. So this is just a sample work which is done by grade 1 children only. Another in the languages, I'm just showing you the sample of Hindi work where children were supposed to draw or paste the picture of season and the kind of clothes they wear in that particular season, and they have to write the first letter of that. Suppose this green color is jacket, so they've written J, the first letter of that spelling, and let them come up, because now they are learning the second language and they have been taught these things when this concept was introduced in the class. So here the teacher has not asked to write or to frame proper sentences or write a paragraph or something. It's just they just have to write Hindi alphabets. That's it, and they have to identify through pictures what is this particular cloth is, and with which particular alphabet it starts with. That's it. Then artwork. This is what I was talking about, 3D picture. Now you see the child is trying to show the autumn season, the spring season, and it has come up very beautifully. But of course, not every child would be able to make like this. They have their own way, so let them do whatever they feel as per their creativity. You can just give your input and suggestion to make it little better. That's it. And this is just a fun activity. Children can do it any point of time in the day. I mean, when they are free for half an hour, 1 hour, and it's an art activity, they would be doing this work. Then ICT, this child has drawn, beach here to show the monsoon season, and where he has drawn, he has written monitor, mouse, keyboard, and this is the only work they were supposed to do in ICT. But then you can see it's a connection. These are very small and basic concepts. But then again, from the grade 1, they will start doing small tasks. In grade 2, level of difficulty would be little more than in grade 3, grade 4. By the time they come to higher classes, their high order thinking would be at very high level by that time. So it's a process. Your child won't be able to do or accomplish anything in 2 days' time. It's a process which will happen over a period of time. It's just a beginning. This is the evaluation rubrics. Just want to show you that how teachers are evaluating, and it must be shared with the parents so that when your child is doing the work, you should know for what my child will be evaluated. Like in math, adding number of maternal and paternal relatives and find total number of members, adding the number of people for each season related worksheets. So for everything, maybe the child is not good in all 3 components, it's okay, but there is a step marking. And as I've told you, when we mark IDP, we are not marking as if it is an exam. It's a creative work, and different children might present in a different manner. So the marking is given just for a standardization, but then again, it varies from child to child and the kind of work they present. Now, next is I want to show you the project work which grade 2 children have done this time. So that was about precious planets. So this interdisciplinary project is given to students to gain knowledge about different planets of our solar system. Now in grade 2, they must be learning about solar system in their EVS. So now they have learned this concept. So the teachers have tried to create a project work where they want to connect the solar system with other subjects as well. So what kind of activities grade 2 children are doing? Now you will see the progression. In grade 1, they were doing such simple activities, and in grade 2, now the level of difficulty is little higher. See, now you see. So again, a lot of subjects are integrated, and the learning outcome you can see here, children would be able to understand different planets of solar system. They would understand the order of planets in the solar system, enhance their creative skills by making a project, pattern and word recognition, enhance their sentence formation skill with word prompt. So these are the certain outcomes they would learn by doing different activities. And it's an individual project. Usually we try to do in a teamwork when children are with us physically in the school. Hopefully in term 2, we will do in the school itself. So let's see in English what is the assignment or activity the children have got. I think, I mean, you all can see the screen and you can see yourself here. what children are supposed to do here. And again, in math also, they just have to complete one worksheet where the teacher has tried to just integrate the solar system, but again with the mathematical concept. And in science, they have to create their own model. And again here in French, the children, those who have taken French as a second language, Hindi, Malayalam, whatever language they have to come up with a scrapbook where they have to choose any 5 planets, write their names, and then maybe they have to label the planets in French language. So now you imagine your child is learning English and French, so he knows the name of that planet in both the languages. So this is how the connection is, right? Same goes for if your child is taken Malayalam and Hindi, or French and Malayalam, whatever combination. Like when they go to grade 2, they go for 3 languages. And then same goes, I'm not reading each and everything, but like you say, draw, name and color the solar system, write the planet, same in Tamil language. So now they learnt about solar system in EVS, but they should know what do you call those planets in Tamil language, because Tamil is the second language of your child. So this is how the teachers are trying to connect. And then draw and color any 3 planets of your choice in MS Paint. Now MS Paint is the software which they are learning as a part of ICT curriculum. Again, it is integrated. So by drawing and coloring the solar system in MS Paint, they will learn how to use that software. Same goes for P, like draw picture of 400-meter track with 8 lanes connecting the concept of orbits, draw or pace. Let children, they will ask what is orbit now. They might ask such questions. So teachers are there to clarify their doubts. And once children are with us, when they do these things in school, it becomes a little more easier for children to cope up. And here I understand the difficulty of the parents. If you are at home and it is happening during summer break and you don't have too much connection with teacher at that point of time, we do understand, but this is just a temporary phase. So and again the same time duration was given to grade 2 as well, 9 weeks time. And this is the work done by grade 2 children as a part of English IDP activity, writing few sentences describing the picture given. See, this picture is given and the child has written the sentence. Here the support which would be given by parent is, you can describe the picture to child and just give them some ideas and let them write. You don't try to correct them every time they write a wrong spelling, let them write. Maybe later you can tell this spelling is like this, or teacher would tell when teacher will evaluate. Because again and again, I'm telling you, this is not the final work. Based on that, your child would be evaluated or will get the grade. Just a part or a simple component. Same thing in EVS, if you look at the activities, this is done by grade 2 children and some children, those who have submitted the IDP. So we have taken that work and we are showcasing here. Same thing, then math IDP here. If you see, the subtraction concept is integrated here. ICT, designing their own favorite planets. So they see, in art, they will learn how to draw with hand. And in computer, they will learn how to draw this picture using a software. So they are learning digital art as well as the normal artwork which they learn. In languages IDP, they're writing in different languages. If you see, so this is not too much work. Like, why I'm talking about these things, because we did come to know that some parents are feeling it's too much. Children are feeling pressurized, they're burdened. So now if you look at the kind of work has been done, it's not too pressurizing. Over a period of time, on 9 weeks time, you just make your timeline. Okay, this week I will work on EVS, next week my child would do English. So maybe 1 or 2 days in a week, child is learning, doing some English work related to IDP. So this is how we have to plan. So before I talk about the last slide, the idea is here not to pressurize or not to create any kind of burden by giving these activities. Let children enjoy doing these activities and let them learn something which is beyond their curriculum. Then only they will be able to develop high order thinking. And our aim is for each and every child to have such high order thinking so that they become critical in their life. They should know how to analyze a situation and how to justify certain situation. And this is just a baby step towards it, I would say. Right. So I would just end this presentation with this quote, like, tell me and I forget. Teach me and I may remember. Involve me, I'll learn. So the main objective of IDP is just to involve children by doing hands-on activities rather than just making them mug up a concept and getting full marks in the examination, because that's not called real learning. When you interact with someone, your grade 10, grade 12 marks are not written here. The way you speak, your confidence, how you talk, what you talk, that gives the impression about your personality. So that's it from my side, and I hope this presentation must have given you an insight and you have idea about what is IDP and what is the role of parent, how parents can guide children when children are doing IDP activities, and why as a school we have implemented IDP. So that's it from my side. Thank you so much for listening to me so patiently. And now it's your turn. If you have any queries, any question, we will just see the chat box and we will answer to your queries. If there's anything which is related to your child and it's related to a particular concern, then I would suggest you can always come to school, take an appointment with us and talk to us in detail. We would be more than happy to talk to you. So parents, you are requested, if there's any query, you can just write in chat box. If nothing is coming to your mind right now, it's okay. Whenever you have any question, now you know, you can always ask us.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for such an exhaustive workshop. And I'm sure not only for parents, but my team of teachers have also gained. And I would also like to tell parents that this particular resource that we have just created through ma'am's orientation, we're going to upload it on YouTube so you can refer to it again and you can learn again as and when you need. And any queries, please share it with us through the chat box. It looks like, ma'am, you have answered all their queries.
When people do not ask anything, either they understand everything or they don't understand anything. So I would assume that, parents have understood everything. And this is my, humble request to every parent. Your children are very young, very young. So the learning should be fun for them rather than, taking it as a pressure. Even you should enjoy these days with your children by having a fun learning way at home also. I know the situation is not very favorable for anyone because especially for working parents, you have to manage work and then you have to sit with your children while online classes. But slowly and gradually things are improving. Now 50% children are coming. From next month, we are giving the transport service to parents. Those who are unable to send their children because of the transport facility, they would be able to send. So slowly and gradually, you will see the life would come back on the track. And I think then you will not feel that much pressure. So as a school, we do understand your challenges, your difficulties. And rather than panicking and taking any hasty decision for your child, it's better you come and speak to us. We have an open door policy where we would like to have an open communication with parents to make the learning environment better for our children. There is no other agenda than that. So thank you so much once again. And if there is no query, then we can end this meeting.
Dr. Ma'am?
Ma'am, there is one query from Mr. Ahmed. He says, what can you recommend for working parents on ways to support child on their projects?
Yeah. So Ms. Jyoti, would you like to answer this question?
Well, the very first thing is whether you're working or whether you are at home. First thing is that we all should have a timetable, and in that timetable, spending time with your children is the priority. I'm also a working professional and I have to take out that time. One is that, and of course, now coming back to a more practical suggestions, I think so. Definitely, as ma'am mentioned, a communication with your teachers from time to time. So you may take an appointment from the HRTs. If let's say you are coming back in the evening, and not every evening, but maybe one of the evenings, the HRT will definitely like to speak to you, or a weekend. Take an appointment and discuss your child's progress. And as ma'am has been reiterating again and again about, we are not here to judge the beautification. We are here to see the process of learning. We want children to enjoy the learning. So even if the artwork, or let's say the child is not written in the most beautiful way, it's absolutely fine. It is very important for the intellect to grow. So our advice to you, whether you're working or whether you are at home, is that you need to communicate to the child that the journey is more important than the destination. We will definitely, at our end, my team will appreciate the destination. We get very, very marveled and amazed by whatever our little children do. And please do not make them pressurize with how the other person is behaving, how the other child has sent the project, and how this one. Let not those kind of things be in the child's mind. And I think so, just with your open communication with the HRT, and from time to time, working or non-working, everybody would be able to gain. I hope I've been able to answer your query.
I just would like to add one more thing. See, we know the difficulties with working parents. So that's the reason we give this project work for children during summer break and winter break, so that your child doesn't have a small window period to complete this task. You got 9 weeks of time this in term one to complete the project work. So even if you had planned, okay, this week I will be sitting with my child to do English work only, so then maybe 1 hour in a week is more than enough to do the kind of activities teachers have given. Maybe in certain cases your child might take 1.5 hours, which is okay in 1 week. So you have to plan. Basically, it's all about time management. What is urgent and what is important for you, right? So that is entirely up to you. How do you manage your time in most effective manner, where you can make a balance in your life? But this is just a suggestion from our side. If you plan out that for 9 weeks your child has got some work from school to do, then you can make a timetable and then see, okay, we will do in bits and pieces. Every week some task would be completed. So your child would also take the accountability. Okay, I was supposed to do this work in the first week, I could not do. Then you can also question your child. So you have to start this practice at home. That's it. Otherwise, there is no other way, because we all are working. We all have got only 24/7 in our life. So we have to sleep also, eat also, work also, earn money also, help our children also. We have to travel also, a lot of things. So it's just about time management. That's it. And if you need any help, then you can call the teachers and they would definitely help you.
Ma'am, we have another query by Mr. Rezwal. He says, due to online class, child is reluctant to write. How school will help child in this regard?
See, now the best ways, children are coming to us for the whole week. So teachers are paying attention on written work. Yes, of course, during online classes, we are not able to pay that much attention because that's the age when children learn to write. Because in KG2, they just start learning how to write, and by the time they come to grade 1, we try to enhance their writing skills. During online mode of education, of course, we could not justify this, and I do not mind accepting this, that this was the biggest constraint of online education. So now we are trying to make sure during these physical classes that teachers do focus more on written work, because that is also an important skill, how to write. So don't worry, once children are back with us, we will focus on writing, and we make sure that your child is not lacking this skill. But for that, you need to send your children to school. And we know that's why we are providing now transport, so that you do not have any difficulty if you want to send your child to school. And if everything goes well, then I think from next month, there is an information from MOE. We may ask 80% children to come to school, but all depends on the situation. because that's the only way to work on their writing skills once they are with us. Without that, again, it's a burden on parent. If we say 10 worksheets in a week, now you make your children write. That again is not going to work.
And ma'am, of course, we've also got a feedback from Mr. George Joseph. He says, thank you for organizing this session on IDP to clear many concerns parents had in mind. Hope to have received this valuable inputs before the activity. And Ms. Jasmine Mullah, she says a very good job done by all the students. They worked very hard and did very well indeed, Ms. Jasmine. And Mr. Hitesh says, appreciate school's efforts to arrange IDP awareness workshop for parents to clear doubts. Thank you.
And there is feedback to focus more on vocabulary. So definitely it's a good suggestion. And usually we do have a word wall in classrooms where we try to come up with new vocabulary every week. And we want children to use those vocabulary when they are talking. So we will start doing this very soon. And earlier, this time we could not do every week. We used to have a spell bee. We used to give 40 words for that. So whatever children are learning new vocab in any subject, we used to compile it together and we used to give 40 words to each child and let them learn. And Sunday we used to have a spelling bee. It's not a competition, just to learn vocabulary in a fun way. So now children have started coming to the school. We will be starting, and this will definitely improve their vocabulary. And if suppose we go back to online learning due to any unavoidable circumstances, then it's a good idea. We will start online as well, the spelling bee. So because this is an important thing, vocabulary building, we'll work on it. Okay, parents, thank you so much. And you may leave the meeting now because there's no further query, and hope to see you again for something useful. Right?
Thank you.
Thank you, teachers, for joining us. Thank you, Ms. Jyoti, for organizing this session. Okay, everyone, bye-bye.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.